complicated world. For example, I mean, thank goodness that I got married before Facebook relationship status existed, because that adds a whole complicated layer of like, when are you official, and then when are you Facebook official, and when are you really dating? Also, you go to weddings these days, and it used to be that like, at your own wedding, you controlled when you got the photos, and then you posted them, but now, guests post photos of your wedding before you even see any of your professional photos. Also, I saw a 2-year-old the other day look at a computer and call it Grandpa because he's so used to Skyping with Grandpa on the computer that he thinks Grandpa lives inside the computer. So this is just this amazingly fascinating world that Asher is growing up in that you know, it's really unique. The whole ways that he'll be communicating have changed, and I think it's really exciting for all of us to be a part of that. I wanted to start on a little bit of a lighter note. I'm going to give kind of my top 10 tips for social media in a moment, but I wanted to kind of put it on its head and say who we don't want to be on social media first. I'm pretty sure all of us have been guilty of one of these things in the past, so if you see something that seems familiar, don't be too hard on yourself. The first is the crazy cat lady. I don't know if you guys have so many people into cats here, but in the US there's like a lot of people really into cats. In fact, this is the profile of my wonderful business partner, Erin, who's in the front row here. The obsessive food blogger, that person who seems to want to post every single meal that they're eating, or cooking, or thinking about eating, or thinking about cooking. The humble bragger, the person who kind of like wants to tell you all the awesome things they're doing, but like positions, like kind of slyly positions it like they're being, they're not bragging about it. Like the person who's saying like, oh gosh, I look so ugly, but like 15 guys still just hit on me. My life's so hard. Or the old person who just doesn't get it. So here is a father who is mistaking Facebook for Google. Who's posting like cheesy motivational quotes, like hang in there and you can do it, and you're just like, really? Like, is that really necessary to post motivational quotes every second? So those are kind of who you don't want to be. And now this is a bit of a random slide to put on there, but one of the things that I really miss about leaving Facebook is the free food. They have incredible food. They treat their employees so well. They have celebrity chefs who cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. It's totally free. And the chefs decided they were going to create their own Facebook page. And what they do is about 10 minutes before mealtime, they update the Facebook page with the menu. So as you can imagine, everyone is literally sitting in the office like right before lunch going like, refresh, 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 refresh. Because if it's a good food day, you have to like run down to the cafeteria and beat the line. And I noticed one day, there's about 4,000 employees at Facebook and almost 30,000 people who like this page. So there's 26,000 people who have nothing to do with working at Facebook and just wanted to see what we're eating for lunch every day. So for any of us that are in marketing, I take this page as a personal challenge of greatness to aspire to in marketing. I hope to create marketing presences one day that people are so excited about that even if they have nothing to do with my company, they want to like me on social media. So without further ado, I wanted to present, I know I have a short presentation this morning, so I'm going to throw a lot of information at you in the next 10 minutes. But these are some of the top social media trends that I'm seeing as I've been out on the speaking circuit, in Silicon Valley with some of the top entrepreneurs. And these are really things that are top of mind for a lot of investors and entrepreneurs in the space. The first one I wanted to talk about is kind of what we're calling the sharing economy, or how to live a very luxurious lifestyle without luxury spending. There's a whole generation now who wants to have the experience of staying in luxury hotels and beautiful cars and wonderful fashion, but doesn't want to pay those kind of prices for it. So here you have a site called Airbnb, which allows you to actually rent out someone's apartment or home when you're traveling and have the experience of having kind of a vacation home or a luxury hotel for just a fraction of the cost. Also, if you're heading out of town, you can list your property on there and make some money while you're out of town. Here's a site called Cherry. It just launched in the United States and is expanding, but instead of taking your car to a car wash, you can actually text someone who will come to your house, text message you when they get there, and all you have to do is kind of lean out the window and open your car, and they'll wash your car for you in front of your home. Rent the Runway, a very popular site. Instead of spending $2,000 or $3,000 for a designer dress, you can actually get one delivered to your doorstep, wear it to an event, and then mail it right back. So you just rent it for that one occasion. There's even, there's companies doing this for private jet travel, for all kinds of things, you name it, personal assistants. You can actually hire someone for like an hour to be your personal assistant online to make restaurant reservations. So anything that you can think of that's kind of related to luxury life is available now for a fraction of the cost online. Another trend that is really starting to pick up is kind of rethinking how you create brand loyalty for your products. It used to be when you think about loyalty programs, you think about frequent flyer miles, you think about hotel points, but social media allows you to create kind of emotional brand loyalty with your customers. And what I mean by that is it allows you to kind of give special access or make people feel like they're having an exclusive experience or they're a little special just by liking your Facebook page. Guild Group, a very popular e-commerce site, they post sales every single day at a specific time, and usually all the items sell out in a few minutes. If you're a Facebook fan, you get an hour advance preview for those sales. So they really give it a good reason to join the page. A few other brands use their Facebook page as a way to kind of make their fans famous. So sites like Dunkin' Donuts, Skittles, they'll actually feature photographs of some of their top fans right there as their main profile page. So you kind of feel like if you're a fan and you submit a photo that you have a chance to be recognized in front of millions of people. Using social media for customer service is becoming increasingly important and increasingly on trend. We now live in a world where every single person in this room is a media company. And that is both really exciting and really scary. It's exciting because if one of you has a great experience with a product, you can now share that with thousands of people at the touch of a button. On the other hand, if you have a very bad experience, you can also share that with thousands of people at the touch of a button. Now, I think airlines kind of get a bit of a bum deal on social networks because you never really see anyone update their status saying like, my flight was neutral, I arrived. But you see people all the time complaining about flight delays and baggage and their seat. So I've looked at a lot of airlines to see who's really doing this well, who's really engaging with their customers and creating good dialogue. And Air France really seems to be doing this very well. They're on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the top sites, and they're responding to customer requests. Even if someone's complaining about a seat or a delay, they're responding in real time to people and trying to make it better. Mobile first is also fascinating, and judging by the kind of amount of mobile phones that I'm seeing out here, something that you guys are thinking about as well. There is a whole generation of companies that are not even starting on the web at all. In fact, they're not even making web a priority. They're kind of launching just for mobile, with mobile as the singular focus. And we're starting to see companies growing to hundreds of millions of users and humongous valuations. A few examples here, we have food spotting. I don't know how many people have been to this restaurant in Luxembourg, but that looks like a pretty delicious nut tartlet. And WhatsApp that allows for free text messaging between people even when they're traveling. People as curators. We already saw a photo of my sister Donna before. This is kind of my shameless plug for her. She's really cool. She is an amateur baker. She loves baking. She is not a professional. She's a student right now, but she loves baking. And what I thought was so cool about this is that it used to be that the only way to be an expert at something was to kind of create things yourself. You had to write articles, or you had to design things. That was really the only way to be an expert. But there's this whole new way to be an expert on social media right now, and that's by kind of curating and gathering the most interesting things that other people are posting. So just like a museum curator, you can be a social media curator and kind of gather the best things on a certain topic. So that's what my sister does on Pinterest. She gathers kind of the best chocolate recipes and grilled cheese recipes that she sees online, posts them. She didn't create these originally, and she has thousands and thousands of people who follow her because there's so much noise online that people really want experts to tell them how to filter the noise and what they should be looking at. She also does really funny things on her blog too. I don't know how many of you guys know Game of Thrones. It's a very, very popular show on HBO, but she did Game of Scones on her blog. And this got a lot of attention, and I kind of helped her as an assistant to her photo shoot. So anything you could do on social media to have a sense of humor is very effective also. Crowdsourcing is something that is one of the most popular trends that's being talked about in Silicon Valley and across the tech industry right now. Here we can see this is a startup watch company that raised over $10 million US on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a platform where you can post an idea, a project. It could be anything. It could be a watch, it could be a documentary film that you want to create, it could be a new company, anything. And if people like your idea, they can actually donate money directly to it to help get it funded and kind of see the progress along the way. So we're starting to see some great examples of companies that are being entirely funded. At the Sundance Film Festival, traditionally it's the major studios that finance the films. This year, 70% of the films there have been backed by Kickstarter instead of major studios. So it's never been a better time than now to kind of get into your passion projects and have other people help you bring them to life.